does it look like in the relationship world? How does that work with a strong working woman?
It's been difficult. It has been difficult. One, because I've been told that I'm intimidating or what I do is intimidating. But like really when you get to know me, like I'm super chill, cool, fun, regular, all that good stuff. But of course there's that business mode as well. But you know, I'm dating and it hasn't been easy, but really right now the most important thing to me is building my business. I feel like I'm in a season right now for building, and that's what really is number one for me.
So how do you get away from, because I'm the same way when it comes to work, and I focus and, oh yeah, I don't have time right now to talk to you, I have to do this, I have to do that. How do because I'll include myself, how do we give the time for people to even court us if that's what we want? How do we make that time as busy business owners?
You know what? I have a very good work-life balance because I really enjoy the fact that being an entrepreneur, I can make time. I can do things on my own time. So I really do make time. I can make time for things that I want to make time for. And so if it's someone that I'm interested in making time for, I will. If it's someone that I may not be, you know, then I got work to do. So
I'm the same way, I know.
But I mean, I think that's the same thing for everyone. And if you can't make time for things that you want to make time for, then, you know, what is the point of being an entrepreneur? You know, there is enough time in the day for you to build real relationships with people, especially if it's important to you. And if you don't have time to build, you know, relationships with people or have that balance, then you're doing something wrong.
That is absolutely correct, and I love that. So what does success look like for you? Because for me, I tell everybody, success to me doesn't mean Bentleys and Ferraris. So success to me is being able to work from home on my couch in a onesie and my hair and ponytails looking crazy. That's what success looks like for me. I love that too.
So for me, success definitely has nothing to do with money. Nothing. Like, I don't even really know what my dream car is, my dream house, none of that, because I don't think in terms of what I want. I think in terms of, like, what I can do for other people. You know, so if more people I can reach, like, that's success to me. If I'm happy every day, that's success to me. Being able to choose what I do with my time, that is success for me. Like, I don't like to have to be anywhere. Like, I really don't. And so, but I do enjoy, like, creating my own schedule. And working from home. I think one of the best times in my life is like, or so far that I can remember from being an entrepreneur, is I was at the hairdresser filing a trademark at the same time. And I'm like, look at this, you know, like I get to be at the hairdresser in the middle of the day, you know, rollers in my hair under the dryer with my laptop on my lap, you know, on the federal website, filing a trademark for a client. You know, like there's nothing greater than that, you know? So that brings me happiness, having a lot more control over my time and just enjoying what I do, you know?
I love that. That is absolutely what success looks like. So with the freedom that you have, how much time do you invest like in hanging out, your friendship, and building those relationships? Because still, we only have a certain amount of time. So what does that work-life balance look like for you as far as your friendships outside of relationships?
You know what? I really have to be conscious about my friendships. Like with my best friends and my friends that are close to me, I have to be very conscious about texting them, calling them, making sure that I am aware of their important times and important moments because, you know, like I said, you get so consumed in your own business and building it and different things that you're doing. But I'm like, you know, there could be like weeks go by and like I haven't, you know, even spoken to like one of my best friends. And I'm like, you know, Dayna, I need to do better. So what I do now to manage that is like, if they pop up in my head, I'm just going to text them, you know, thought about you. Hope you're having a great day. Let's do dinner soon. I even texted my best friend today. I'm like, let's do dinner on Saturday. You know, because it gets easy to kind of forget certain things or what's the other things that were in your life before you got married to your business, you know, but it's so important to nurture those relationships because in one way or another, those people played a role in getting you where you are. So it might not be super hands-on, but even if it's just emotional support or being there for, whatever it might be, they played a role in where you are. So I have to be very conscious of my friends and making sure that I'm there for them and what they need, because you can get so consumed, in your business as an entrepreneur because you're really depending on yourself. So
I agree 100%. So let's get back over to your business. Tell me about entertainment law. What does that mean?
So entertainment law, for me, it's twofold. One, helping entertainers that can be even authors, artists, rappers, singers, songwriters, producers, those in the film industry, even Instagram models, fashion models, helping them understand what rights come with their work, their craft, what they do, what they're producing. And so most of those rights usually fall into copyright law. And so one, helping them understand what those rights are and how valuable what they're doing is. And two, helping them to protect it and get paid from it through contracts. So that's the entertainment side. I represent those people on their deals, help to draft those contracts, negotiate those contracts, and just represent them to make sure that they're getting the best possible deal and really able to make a living from their art and from their craft.
So why is that important?
It's important because people really don't know how valuable it is. Like, for example, if you're making a song with someone, in a studio, a lot of times they just, two friends or something might come together in a studio and make a song and have no paperwork or don't really understand the value that's in it, and they could give away their music for little to nothing. But actually, when you make a lot of music or you write a lot of songs and other people are using it, that can be like a full-time job for you. But if you don't understand, that copyright is involved, which is in the Constitution, then you're going to lose out on a lot of money that you would otherwise be entitled to. And so, when it comes to the arts, it's not just a passion. It can be, how you feed your family, but it can't be that if you don't understand what's involved.
Now, there are so many people that, me and my friend, we're just going to start this. We're just going to come together and do it. What do those agreements look like? Because when you think it's just your friend and, it's no problem, we've known each other since childhood. Ooh, can you please share with the people what that really looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So one, it's great if you have a friend that you guys kind of have the same vision and want to partner up on a venture. That's great. But just make sure that you have a business entity, which is, an LLC. I usually recommend an LLC, but the different structures are LLC, corporation, partnership, for the business venture that you're doing. Because one, that provides you with limited liability, which means that, God forbid, if the business is sued or something like that, then, they can't get to your personal assets like your house, your car, the money in your bank account, different things like that. They can only get to what the business has. One, that's important. Two, making sure that you have that operating agreement. And so the operating agreement is going to detail exactly what that relationship is between you and your friend or you and your business partner, how money is going to be split, who's getting what percent, when you're getting paid, how decisions are going to be made. Do you have equal voting? Is it going to be a majority? Is it going to be unanimous? And for what types of decisions will it be unanimous? Different things like that. So, sometimes it's very difficult to have that conversation with someone that's very close to you because you might think that they'll get offended by that. But really, it's protecting your friendship and protecting your relationship, because if there is a dispute, you can just go back to that operating agreement that both of you agreed to, whenever that might have been, and, you can squash the beef right there. And so that helps to maintain and strengthen, your personal and your business relationship, because things happen down the road. Honestly, people get funny with money, especially when, the business will start to grow. So you want to make sure that you maintain your relationship and that the business doesn't, break up your friendship over, decisions or money or anything like that.
Now, how do you have those conversations? Because it sounds almost like a prenup, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like having a business is a marriage. Like I've said a couple of times, in this interview, like you're married to your business. And that doesn't mean that you neglect other things, but it's like you really have to give it the time and attention that it needs. So it kind of is like a prenup. It's like if this happens, then this. If this, then this. But it keeps the business flowing smoothly. It helps investors be more comfortable with, giving money to your business if they can see a contract or see an agreement for how everything is going to be run, because it's going to be hard to get someone to invest in your company if you don't even have an agreement about how your relationship is going to be managed or how the business is going to be run. So that's another thing too for that operating agreement that's really important.
Now, for the operating agreement, how does that conversation, because just like you said, it is an uncomfortable conversation, and most people really don't want to have it, especially if you, one, don't know about it, or two, you don't want to make the other person feel uncomfortable, pretty much like a prenup. How do you go into the, hey, so I know we're besties and we're going to be friends forever, however, in the event that you decide to act like you don't have any sense, you'll have to be able to go back to this document. How would you suggest people bring that conversation up?
Okay, well, not only I think you can kind of focus on the other aspects also of an operating agreement. So one, yes, it does provide ways to govern disputes between the parties, but it's also, another great thing, like I said before, was like the investors. You can say to your business partner, your friend, we're looking to get investors in the future. We might want to get investors in the future. And I learned that if we have an operating agreement, it's going to make the investor more comfortable. The operating agreement will also make it easy for us to make decisions for the business. And, I know we talked about a 50-50 split. Let's just put that in there so that, if we decide to change it, there'll be, exact method on how we can change that. And also, if in the future, if we want to bring in another partner, the operating agreement is going to say exactly how we do that so we can keep everything nice and smooth. So it's kind of like you don't have to say, well, if we ever get into a fight, we know what to do. It's kind of like, well, it's like in order for us to grow, we can always revert back to this agreement so that we can keep expanding and growing, for our business. So everything is just a matter of how you say it.
That's a good one. I like that. Okay. So entrepreneurship, you deal with law for entrepreneurs as well.
Right. Absolutely. Most of my work is that.
What's the difference with your specialty versus any other specialty? What differentiates you from other lawyers and attorneys?
Right. So most lawyers, if any, they don't call themselves entrepreneurship lawyers. And so I like to think that I coined that term for myself because most lawyers call themselves business lawyers or small business lawyers. And when you think of that, or normally that's like the attorney for the business. It's all about the business. But for me, entrepreneurship law means so much more because clients the entrepreneurs, they're so passionate about what they do. And I understand that it's not only the work for the business that I need to do, but I also need to serve the entrepreneur, because the entrepreneur is the brains behind it. If their mind isn't right, if they're not feeling confident about the business, if they're not knowledgeable, about what they're doing, then it's going to be very hard for the business to survive. So to me, entrepreneurship law is all encompassing, especially focusing on the person that is the brains behind the business. And so most other lawyers that deal with businesses focus numbers, all that stuff. Of course, I do that as well, but I like to really develop a relationship with the entrepreneur because that is the key to having a successful business. So
I love that. So that segues us over into your book.
Ooh, my book.
Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you. I'm super excited about the book. I just launched it last week, actually, for my birthday. My birthday was on Thanksgiving, and the launch was on November 23rd. My birthday was on the 24th. And so I just thought that it would be a great thing to do together. My book is called Entrepreneur's Guide to Building a Solid Legal Foundation. And honestly, it was starting off to be an article, just an article that I was going to write for entrepreneurs. And I just kept writing and kept writing and kept writing. And I had so much to say. And I couldn't just only write about the business or the legal. I had to sprinkle a little bit of inspiration and motivation in there. And so I kept writing. And I just had so much to say to the audience that it turned from an article to an ebook, and then from an ebook to a hard copy book. And so yes, my book was birthed recently. I only decided to actually make it a hard copy book a couple of weeks ago.
Wow, really?
A couple of weeks ago. I had enough content to make a book, but I just I don't know why I wasn't thinking to actually make it a book. And so when I was speaking to some of my really good friends, they're like, Dayna, this is a book. People need this information. And so yeah, I acted quickly to make it a book. But I'm really proud of the work. I wrote it for new and aspiring entrepreneurs who have either a burning desire to start a business. They just kind of don't know